Hello students, I am Dr. Sujata Kasbe from Abasaheb Garware College, Pune. This video demonstrates the inorganic chemistry experiment of MSc Part 1. So here we are going to synthesize and find out the purity of the complex nitropentaamino cobalt 3 chloride. The theory of the experiment is it is an octahedral complex. It is prepared from parent complex, that is chloropentamino cobalt 3 chloride. The coordinated chloride ion is replaced by NO2 minus ion. The coordination takes place through nitrogen atom of the NO2 minus ion. The yellow complex gets precipitated in strongly acidic medium. So what are the chemicals required for the synthesis of this nitropentaamino cobalt 3 chloride are chloropentamino cobalt 3 chloride, sodium nitrate, liquor ammonia and HCl. Let us see how to perform the experiment. The first step is to take the weight of chloropentamino cobalt 3 chloride on watch glass. Then take or transfer this weighed 2 gram sample in a 100 ml beaker which contains already 13 ml liquid ammonia and 40 ml distilled water. Next to this is heat this solution in a water bath till the complex dissolves. To dissolve the complex, the time required is about 30 ml. If necessary, filter the solution and then cool it. Now, neutralize this solution by using 1:1 HCl. Then add excess amount of HCl, that is about 5 to 10 ml HCl. To this solution, further add 2 gram of NaNO2. While doing this addition, the solution must be kept in the ice cold water. Add small portion at a time with constant stirring. Now after few minutes, a yellow colored product will appear in this solution. Filter the solution through Buchner funnel and wash this transferred sample or product with little amount of acetone. Then take out this product on a dry filter paper. After drying, take the weight of product as W gram. The theory of the experiment is the purity of the complex can be determined in terms of cobalt when the complex is treated with 2 normal sodium hydroxide solution. The coordinated ammonia molecules are removed in the form of gas. With the formation of cobaltic hydroxide, it is converted into cobaltic oxide. If we heat it strongly, the cobaltic oxide, when treated with potassium iodide in acidic medium, it liberates iodine. This liberated iodine is treated with the standard solution of sodium thiosulfate. Now let us see the procedure of the experiment. The first part of this procedure is the dissolution of complex. To dissolve the complex, weigh accurately 0.3 gram of the complex and then after weighing this complex, transfer it in a conical flask. Rinse the watch glass. Add to this 20 ml 2 normal NaOH solution and 20 ml distilled water. Now heat this solution gently to boiling till the evolution of ammonia is complete. To check whether the evolution of ammonia is complete or not, taste it with the turmeric paper. It should not turn brownish red. The next step is the filtration. Filter the cobaltic oxide precipitate through ordinary filter paper and rinse the conical flask with hot distilled water and pour it on the paper. Wash the precipitate for 4 to 5 times with hot distilled water till it becomes free from alkali. For this, test this fresh drop of the filtrate with red litmus paper. It should not turn blue. Now take a conical flask and transfer this PPT along with the filter paper in this flask and preserve it for the further estimation. The next part of the experiment is standardization of sodium thiosulfate solution. For this standardization, we have to prepare a standard 0.05 normal potassium dichromate solution. So let us prepare standard 0.05 normal potassium dichromate solution. For the preparation of this standard solution, we have to always use equivalent weight. Now, according to the corresponding equation, 1000 ml 1 normal K2Cr2O7 solution contains 49 gram of K2Cr2O7. Therefore, 100 ml 0.05 normal K2Cr2O7 solution contains 0.245 gram of K2Cr2O7. So, weigh exactly 0.245 gram of potassium dichromate on a watch glass and then transfer it in a beaker. Rinse the watch glass with little distilled water in the same beaker and dissolve the potassium dichromate in about 50 ml distilled water. Then transfer this dissolved potassium dichromate solution into a 100 ml volumetric flask. Collect all the washings in the same volumetric flask and make up the volume up to the mark. This becomes a standard 0.05 normal potassium dichromate solution. Transfer this solution in the same beaker so as to get homogeneous solution. Now let us standardize sodium thiosulfate solution by using standard 0.05 normal potassium dichromate solution. For this standardization, fill the burette number 1 with 0.05 normal sodium thiosulfate solution. See, this normality is approximate normality. Now the next step is fill the burette number 2 with potassium dichromate solution. Then take 9 ml of 0.05 normal potassium dichromate solution from the burette number 2 in a conical flask. Further, add to this solution 3 ml concentrated HCl and 10 ml 5% potassium iodide solution. Shake this flask well. Next step is cover the flask and keep it for about 5 minutes. Now titrate this solution with sodium thiosulfate solution. Here we have to titrate the liberated iodine with the sodium thiosulfate solution from the burette number 1 till the pale yellow color appears to the solution. At this stage, add 1 to 2 ml starch as an indicator. The color of the solution will change to dark blue. And now continue the titration with same burette number 1. Do not refill the burette. The end point of the titration is from dark blue to green. Record this reading in observation table as x1 ml. In the same flask, add 1 ml 0.05 normal potassium dichromate solution from the burette number 2. The color of the solution will turn to blue. Continue the titration with burette number 1. Do not add indicator. The color of the solution changes from blue to green, and now record this reading as x2 ml. Repeat the same procedure for the x3 ml. From these 3 burette readings, that is x1, x2 and x3, find out the exact normality of sodium thiosulfate solution as N1, N2, N3 respectively. Now take the mean of these 3 and finally find out the exact normality as N4. The next part of the experiment is volumetric analysis. For this, take previously preserved conical flask. In the conical flask, add 10 ml 5% potassium iodide solution, 2 test tubes of distilled water, and also add 5 ml concentrated HCl. Shake the flask containing solution well, and now cork this flask tightly and keep it in a dark place for about 5 to 10 minutes till the liberation of iodine is complete. Now meanwhile, fill the burette number 1 with 0.05 normal sodium thiosulfate solution. Now titrate this liberated iodine with sodium thiosulfate solution from burette number 1. Till the color changes to yellow, pale yellow color. At this stage, add 2 to 3 ml starch indicator. After the addition of starch, the solution will turn to blue. Now do not refill the burette, that is, continue the titration with the same burette till the color of the solution changes from blue to light pink. This is the end point, and the color of the filter paper which is inside the flask should also become white. Now note this reading as x ml in the observation table. The next part of the experiment is observations, observation table and calculation. Let us go through it. So this is the calculation for standardization of sodium thiosulfate solution. The first part is observations. Here for this titration, Given is 0.05 normal potassium dichromate solution. We have to find out exact normality of sodium thiosulfate solution. Burette 1 contains sodium thiosulfate solution and burette 2 is filled with the potassium dichromate solution. Starch is used as the indicator and the end point of the titration is blue to green. The reaction of the titration is as shown in the PPT. Structure of the complex is shown in the PPT. Now this is the observation table for the standardization of sodium thiosulfate solution. The amount of sodium thiosulfate solution required for the 9 ml of the potassium dichromate is the X1 and so on and so forth. Now next is the calculation. So for the calculation of normality, N1V1 is equal to NV is the formula. So sodium thiosulfate corresponds to potassium dichromate. So N1 multiplied by X1 equal to 0.05 multiplied by 9. This will give the N1 normality. So find out N2 and N3 also. Now take the mean of this one, that will give you the exact normality of sodium thiosulfate solution as N4. Next to this is the determination of purity of the complex. Weight of the complex taken is equal to W gram. Now 1000 ml 1 normal sodium thiosulfate corresponds to 58.93 gram of cobalt. Therefore 100 ml 0.05 normal sodium thiosulfate corresponds to 0.0294 gram of cobalt. So in this way calculate the XML for the N4 is equal to a gram of cobalt. Now the weight of complex equal to 100 into A divided by weight of complex, that will be the B% of cobalt. To determine or to calculate the theoretical weight of the percentage of purity of the complex, 23.53 gram cobalt corresponds to 100% pure complex. Hence B gram cobalt corresponds to 100 into B divided by 23.53 is equal to Z% pure complex. Here the expected percentage practical yield is about 80%. Now this is the result table. Here we found out the weight of the complex, exact normality of sodium thiosulfate solution, theoretical percentage of cobalt, practical percentage of cobalt, percentage purity of the complex. So in this video we studied how to synthesize the complex of the chloropentamino cobalt 3 chloride and to determine its purity. Thank you for watching the complete video. Take care of yourself and your family.